Want to welcome back Wayne Jacobs to the show. You've been here before.
I have been a few times.
In a different capacity, but about football. Who's this young man you brought with you?
Oh, I'm lucky enough to have Nick Gregg with us. He's my business partner and one of the coaches at the NCQA. The
NCQA is brand new. It's the National Capital Quarterback Academy. Now, you kind of fell into this, right?
Well, I couldn't have summed it up better myself. I ended up kind of coming back, like we were talking a little bit myself, and I played overseas for a bit.
Yeah, and you've been a quarterback all your football life?
Pretty much over 20 years. I've been coaching with one of your old colleagues, kind of rare, over at the Invaders. And
good on you, and good for you. You're a lucky man.
I won't even touch that one.
Morning, Kenneth.
So having said all that, hey, Ken, having said all that, as I was kind of going throughout the city and got back into the grassroots level or the youth level, I noticed one thing is that there's just seemed to be a dearth of coaches.
Right.
And I don't want to say qualified coaches because there's a lot of very well-meaning
coaches. But specialized coaches in quarterbacking? You are correct.
Exactly.
It's a good idea.
So we kind of went around, and what ended up happening was, more and more, I kind of had more and more kids kind of jumping on board and practicing with me. And then it turns out Nick had played a little quarterback. He was out at Invaders practice. He kind of gravitated towards me.
Yeah.
We got to talking. Turns out I worked with his dad.
Yeah.
One thing led to the next, and he had a couple of young guys he knew in his organization.
And away you go, you start a school, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a good idea, Nick, because as you know, there is a shortage at certain levels of specific quarterback coaches, right?
Absolutely, yeah. So, Wayne's probably one of the most qualified guys I've met, definitely, and it has been a shortage. The city hasn't seen a lot of great quarterback coaches in the last little bit, and not a lot is qualified that have played overseas in the States and everywhere else.
Do we have good quarterbacks around here?
We do. Ottawa has a great talent pool, and we're happy to work with them.
Well, it's a good football town, right? And that's the thing. We're producing players here that go on to star collegiately and some in the CFL, even some NFLers along the way. Point being, developing that talent is key, and it's not always easy to do.
No, and they're already fighting, if you will, they're already starting kind of behind the race in the sense that this is hockey country. We know that. I love it. But in terms of learning a specialized talent outside of hockey, you don't have a lot of it here. Whereas the American kids, they start this at about 10, 11, 12, and you're right, you hit it on the head. We have some great talent here.
We got to develop the talent. Who we got over here? Who's throwing the ball around?
Well, we've got closest to us is Matt and Mike, and away from us is Drew and Tyler. All four of them are inaugural members of the NCQA.
Right.
We've had great success with all of them. If you look over at Drew, you want to wave real quick? Drew, you want to wave?
Wave.
Thank you.
Who's that?
That's Drew Garby. We actually have we got Drew, and we actually tinkered with his release down, restricted, and one of the things I'm with and love with them at this age is Drew came back and within about 2-3 weeks had completely retooled it.
Yeah.
And unlike, say, Tim Tebow, who's having struggles trying to redo it, Drew did it in 3 weeks.
Right.
And then thought you'd like that one.
Now, so you're looking for more people to come out, obviously, and if people are looking for you, this is a perfect opportunity, a good marriage, right? Because quarterbacks out there, and there are guys who just, right, Nick, am I right? There are guys who just play quarterback. They want to play quarterback.
No, absolutely, and it's something, it's an itch you can never get rid of, right? Once you stop playing, it's always there, and I think you're born a quarterback, and these guys, I know all they want to do is throw a ball every day, 24/7.
And it's not only throwing a ball, right? It's reading defenses. It's
absolutely, and we go over
there's
all
a lot involved. It's the most intricate position in football. There's no question. I wouldn't say most important. It probably is, but it's the most intricate.
I played quarterback, and I would never say most important.
No, because everybody. As that
left tackle is looking at me saying, "I'll show you who's important."
Yeah, you want to see who's important, but it's one of the
most difficult positions in all of pro sport because there's the physical aspect which takes a certain degree of training, and then everything, all factors being perfect with the physical, you still have the mental side of it, which is a whole new ball of wax.
Before we run out of time, how do people get in touch with you and get hooked up and start this process for young quarterbacks around?
Well, the beauty is we're super flexible. We have various programs that you can see online, but the best way to start is to reach us at www.ncqa.ca.
Right.
Or you can call us directly at 613-789-NCQA.
This is a great idea.
789-6272.
I got to laugh at these boys. They're out here throwing the ball, and they're throwing it as hard as they can, right? And they usually have someone catching the ball for them, quarterbacks, right? They're like, hey, don't hurt my fingers. What's the first thing, Wayne, when you're instructing a quarterback? What's the first thing they should learn?
First thing is, you know what? I'll take a twofold approach to that, and it's the feet and the elbow.
Right.
I always think these are the drivers. I always say, basically, you have to have that base set up to be able to throw it. And if that base, it's like anything else in sport. Like if you're if you will, a basketball player, another position in football, soccer player, you need that nice shoulder width base. Because I mean, if you're too wide, you'll get no power, and if you're too short, you'll get no follow through on it.
Yeah.
The other thing is obviously if you watch, and we worked with Drew a lot with it, is getting that elbow up. I mean, you see it. You look at the sports. I always say, look at the two throwing sports where they require the most power and distance. You're looking at a javelin thrower or a pitcher. And a pitcher, there's a reason he's never in there.
It's the oddest sort of ball to be thrown. It's not really a ball at all.
Exactly.
Listen, fellas, thanks so much for coming down. Good luck. And I know there's other quarterbacks out there who'll be going, thank goodness there's something for specifically for those types of players.
Oh, definitely.
Good to have you on the show.
Thanks again.
All right.
Thank you.